Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
From Southside High School, it's time for a Nassau County football showdown between the Southside Cyclones and the Elmont Spartans. The Cyclones enter play today at 5-2, while the Spartans come in at 3-4. It's a beautiful but cool fall Saturday morning, and it's senior day here at Southside. We appreciate you joining us, spending your morning into the afternoon here with Varsity Media. With your coverage today, I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by my partner, Franco Biancamano. And Franco, it's just one of those late fall days. It's the end of the year. Playoffs are right around the corner. Senior day here at Southside. Vibes couldn't be much higher for these guys. It's peak football season.
Absolutely. And both programs are coming in. Southside is looking to keep the momentum going into the playoffs, while Elmont is looking to finish with a big win. It's going to be an exciting matchup. Expect a big physical game, and we're here for fall football.
Absolutely, and an interesting storyline coming into today's game if you're not aware of the seeding and how the standings work. Right now, regardless of the outcome of this game, there's about a 90% chance that these two teams will play in the first round of the playoffs. So both coaches trying to feel out this matchup. What do you think that adds to this game?
Well, I think they're going to take a look at each other, see how things are working. They're probably not going to show much, especially going into the postseason. So don't expect a lot of trickery. But I think it's going to be a great game, and they're going to try to figure this out today.
There's certainly a couple guys that are going to catch your eye no matter what, and today the impact players for Elmont will do just that. Elijah Davis and Kirkley Grant, running back and linebacker. What do these two guys bring to the table for the Spartans?
These guys bring excitement. They bring physical experience. They're going to come out, and they're going to try to give it their best today.
And on the other side, Southside has a pair to match it. Ethan Johnson and Kieran Vetter, who Coach Ernesto raves about. What do you see from these two guys throughout the season?
These guys have been a powerhouse. They've been, from the very beginning, they have that experience, and they're workhorses for Southside, and they're going to bring it, especially going into the postseason.
Both players having terrific seasons. Johnson, 74 carries, 542 yards, and 9 touchdowns. For Kieran Vetter, 12.5 tackles, 5 interceptions. On the other side of the ball, had 2 takeaways last week. We can take a look now at the keys to the game from these two coaches. You speak to Coach Ernesto, Coach Ace, and this is what they tell you they want to harp on going into this one. When you look at these 3 keys on each side, Franco, what do you see from these coaches, and what do you think they're going to try to do today?
Well, for Elmont, they need to execute on offense. They got to stay balanced and finish every single drive. Stop their inside zone, control the gaps, make Southside earn every single yard, and, of course, play a complete game from quarter 1 to quarter 4, focus and discipline. For Southside, prevent big plays. They need to keep Elmont's speed and wrap up on first contact, win the turnover battle, force takeovers, and protect the football. And then most of all, they have to put together those long drives, sustain momentum, control the clock, and finish with points.
Well, note now and multiple times throughout the day, Rob Casario, starting quarterback for Southside, is out. Connor McNulty will play. For Connor stepping in this situation, your next man up, usually a receiver, what does he have to do today to try and get this offense rolling? And what do the coaches have to do to get him comfortable and settled in?
Well, he needs to, they were an A and B players this year. They were A and B, and now he finally gets his shot to show what he's got. And I think he's going to do a nice job of stepping in, controlling that offense, and getting it done today.
Coach Ernesto said you're not too worried about it because he comes in and tries out as a quarterback. He plays quarterback as a youth football player. but he said we had to keep him on the field because he's a playmaker. So you don't necessarily lose a job or feel down on the idea that you got moved to wide receiver. It's the fact that you're a really good football player. They're excited to have you, and he feels comfortable with him under center.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they were an A and B conversation. They fought in training camp to see who was going to be the starter, and he's got the ability to be there, and he's excited to get the call.
And he's got a great pair of running backs, Ethan Johnson, A.J. Magarazzi. What do you see from these two guys and how they've used that committee, that real dual threat, two-headed monster out of the backfield? What can they do to help their quarterback today?
They've been phenomenal. So what they need to do is they need to sustain those long drives, get those first downs. These two guys have been absolutely incredible this year, and
the two of them have really been the workhorse or the real worker part of this offense. They've been the motor that runs the entire thing. For Coach Ernesto, year 15 as the head coach here. He's looking to get a win because he said when you go into that first playoff game, you want to have this one under your belt. If you are indeed playing Elmont, you want to make sure you got them so that there's no uncertainty going into next week. For Elmont, trying to keep it close, trying to maybe pick off Southside before you can get them in a playoff game, add some confidence to your group. What do you think of the coaching matchup here and what they have to do today in this game?
Well, Coach Ernesto has that experience. Coach Ernesto, winning the Nassau County a couple of years ago and then going through a rebuilding period, but not really getting back into the playoffs. He's been doing an excellent job. He's got that experience. And then for Coach, for the coach on Elmont's coach, it's his third year, and he's also doing a great job, and getting into the playoffs is going to be a big thing for him.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll see what is in store between Elmont and Southside here on Senior Day. We'll have more coverage of the seniors throughout the entire morning into the afternoon here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back live on the Varsity Media Sports Network, moments away from the opening kickoff between Southside and Elmont. Once again, I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Franco Biancamano. Franco, you spend a lot of time with the youth program locally. What does Coach Ernesto do to really carry that on through high school and continue to mold these young men?
Yeah, it's amazing with the RVC Titans here in town. What we do is, they play up. They start at 7 years old. They go all the way to 12, and they build this friendship, this camaraderie that these young athletes have, and I think that's what brings them up to Coach Ernesto and gets them ready for those 4 years of high school.
On the other side, Coach Ines, he's had a tall task, a really young team here in Elmont. Right now they're 3-4. Finishing 500 would be a big morale moment for this program to be able to get to 4-4, pick up a big win today, head into the playoffs with some momentum. What does he have to do today to rally these guys?
I mean, he really just needs to get them excited about what that could bring, especially knowing, especially 90% is they're going to be playing them next week. So it's, hey, let's see what they can do. let's go out and let's try to get this victory.
And the only way that they won't play each other, a few other things have to go differently. There's a very specific rundown of games that have to go a certain way for these two teams not to match up. In order for them to match up, Clark just has to win their game today, which is definitely possible. They are playing at home right now. They're the better record team, so they have a chance to do that. But regardless, even if Clark lost, a few other things have to go in a specific manner. So these two teams likely to play again next week in the postseason. So we'll be talking about that all afternoon. You have Senior Day here from Southside, and I think that it's always a unique thing for a coach to have to approach Senior Day because you're going to have guys that you want to get in before the playoff, guys who have been here, who have really been through the grind with you. You want to get everybody the looks, but you also want to make sure you get those seniors celebrated today, which we'll, of course, acknowledge throughout the broadcast, get you to know these guys a little bit. But Senior Day is always an important one, I think, for these programs.
It is, because for some of these young men, they're going to move on to college, and some of them are not going to play football. So, they spent their entire career playing football, and Senior Day makes you realize, hey, this could be the last time that I play football. So it's a very special moment for any football player, for any young athlete.
And you hit it on the head because I remember going through Senior Day as an athlete and knowing I wasn't going to play in college. It's about the brotherhood and the guys you've played with for 14, 15 years. That's what you really end up missing, and the chance to be able to do it one more time is always a special feeling, and to be able to understand that. Weather today, 52 degrees from Southside High School. I think that wave of summer weather that we were keeping around is finally gone, which is unfortunate, but this is real football weather today.
Oh, absolutely. With winds at 24 miles an hour, it's going to play a role in today's game, I think.
I spoke to a bunch of coaches throughout the week who are all getting ready for these games at the end of the season, whether it's football, whether it's soccer, and they all said this weekend they want to embrace the win. They want to try and make it an advantage. Don't let it beat you. Try and create opportunities off of what the wind might do to your opponent. And I think special teams, you're a special teams guy, always wind can play a massive factor in these games for these returners, for the kickers. You've kicked and punted in the wind yourself. It doesn't get easy. You can't be a real friend with the wind, are you?
You can't be, and I got to tell you, being a former kicker and a former punter, the wind is absolutely huge. It gives you so much momentum, especially being a kicker and a punter for special teams, especially if you need that field goal. The wind plays a huge factor, and today I think it's going to, Kevin.
For Elmont, it'll be Greven Perez to knock the opening kickoff. He's the kicker, the punter, the all-around special team leader for this team. And Elmont will look to create some good field position for their defense to go out there and start this game against the Southside team who's inserting the backup quarterback as they're missing their starter. Again, it's Connor McNulty to play quarterback, typically a wide receiver, but has a long career as a quarterback, is the backup here at Southside. Rob Casario Jr. out, having a really nice year for Southside, but they'll give him this week. It was kind of a game-time decision, so nothing too serious, thankfully, but the coaches decided late in the week that it was going to be best to just give him the day, make sure they don't run any risks, play it safe, and that's their situation today as McNulty will be their starter. Back to return the opening kick for Southside. It's Ethan Johnson and also Reagan Patrone. Johnson plays this one and slides down immediately as he stumbled, so they rule him down at about the 2-yard line. Tough starting field position, definitely not what Johnson wanted, but for Elmont, a huge start.
Yeah, that's a huge start. He just kind of lost his footing, slipped, took a knee, and in high school, when you take a knee, it's where you're left.
So it'll be the Southside offense taking the field first here, backed way deep in their own territory. Under center, you see Connor McNulty. And you get an immediate pre-snap penalty. You got to jump in the middle of that Southside line. So through the first two plays, Southside not really going the way they wanted it to. but really won't back him up too much further.
Yeah, this is an unusual start for Southside right now.
Nagarachi in the backfield. That ball's loose in the end zone and out of the back. We'll start with a safety for Elmont. Little bit of a miscommunication, broken play, and the ball ends up rolling right out of the back. 2-0 is the score.
Yeah, wow, let's take a look at this replay right now. This is not a good start for Southside. Here we go. Like you said, a little miscommunication right here. And they're very lucky that that ball rolled out of the back of the end zone for a safety.
Really big rush by Kirkley Grant. Gets to the quarterback before they can even hand it off. Grant, one of the impact players in this game, always a nice feeling for us and the great graphics team we have when the impact player decides to impact the game that early. Kirkley Grant does it on the first play from scrimmage, and it's a 2-0 game. You don't see that score every day.
No, that's very, very unusual. And again, it started with what you and I spoke about earlier, was special teams. You know, you get a slip up, you start with bad field position, and then boom, they take advantage of it. Elmont does a nice job.
For Johnson on that kick return, such a great player, and it's not even a mistake that he had made. It was just, looked like the wind maybe carried that ball, had it sit up in the air for an extra moment, had to take a step back, ends up slipping. Now a big kickoff for Southside to try and get the momentum back defensively and potentially on special teams. They got to get rid of it from their own 20, so that obviously makes life a lot harder after the safety as well.
Yeah, and what's going to make it a little bit harder for them is that they are kicking into the wind. You and I spoke about it earlier. They are kicking into the wind, and expect Elmont to have really good field position right now to start.
Southside to kick it away, it's Papadopoulos. Squib up the middle. He's going to take a roll to the 40 where it's played. And only about a 2-yard return for Aiden Barnes, who in just a moment will step in at quarterback for the Spartans.
Yeah, Papadopoulos on that play did an absolute great job of squibbing it, keeping it on the ground, and giving them pretty good, giving the defense pretty good field position.
All things considered, it is good field position for Southside's defense, but also Elmont's offense is happy with what they've got. Aiden Barnes, the 6'3", 170-pound senior quarterback. He's a real do-it-all, dual-threat athlete, one of the more modern, typical quarterbacks that you see now in high school football. And what Coach was telling me is, aside from just being a great player, this is a kid that everybody would want on their squad. First handoff goes for about 2 yards to Elijah Davis.
Yeah, and you said it. He fits that quarterback mold at 6'3", really, really great young man and a really great athlete.
See the starting offense there for Elmont is a really good one. Nice group of guys, a lot of different ages. They have young players, older players, and along the offensive line, one of those standout guys is going to be Ugam Nabugor, who is a freshman, an absolute beast. They got him to start playing football 2 years ago, and he has been a monster for this Elmont team. Get to him and the rest of the starters more throughout the broadcast. They go handoff again to Davis, takes it up the middle. That's going to be a first down and more, down to the 42-yard line. He rumbles.
Yeah, Davis, what a great run right up the middle, using those big, powerful legs and taking it for a first down.
See, Davis has great size for a high school back and uses his vision and speed as well to complement it. The starting defense for Southside definitely going to provide some headaches for Elmont. Up front, Ryan Healy, Jack Scallis, DeAndre Mullings, Newberry, and Colin Kenny, a really good defensive front, and then a great linebacking core, Jaden Johnson, Jack Boyens, and Ethan Johnson, and a terrific secondary made up of Papadopoulos, Barnes, Vetter, and Patron. A lot of playmakers on this Southside defense. Going to go to Johnson again. Gets taken down immediately, maybe picked up a yard. Good first down stop for Southside.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. They're giving it to him right up the gut. And number 52, Jaden Johnson, makes a great tackle for a 1-yard gain.
So Elmont will set up at the Southside 43-yard line for second down. So far, a positive start to this game for them. They pick up the safety, end up with good field position at the 40-yard line, and they've since then gotten a first down at about 16 yards. Now we'll see if they can keep adding to it. Barnes with the give to Davis, and that's going to be stuffed. 3 red jerseys there to make the stop.
Yeah, they did an excellent job here. They knew that Davis was going to get the ball, and Southside does a great job. Mullings Newberry right there in for the tackle for no gain.
And DeAndre Mullings Newberry was a guy who was a fringe starter on this team trying to find his spot, and what Coach Ernesto told me is he has just every day brought it and showed up, and he's earned every down he will play, and just one of the most productive guys on this team, even in the stuff you can't see in the box score. Barnes going to drop back. He's pressured, escapes a tackler, and runs in to the entire Southside linebacking core. There to make the tackle is Jaden Johnson. That'll bring up fourth down.
Yeah, Barnes saw an opening there, right up the gut, tried to take it up the middle, and Southside, like you said, did a great job swarming that play.
Fourth down here. Elmont will stay on the field, of course, and go for this in Southside territory. It's 4th and 5. They break the huddle. Now head to the line of scrimmage where they look for a big conversion, and this would be the momentum Southside needs if they can get this stop. Barnes drops back, looks left, immediately pressured. Now he'll run. We'll see where the spot is. Looks like he got the first, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, very close. Again, Barnes dropping in out of a shotgun. Let's take a look at the replay. Can't find. Southside does a great job of covering those receivers, and Barnes takes it right up the middle and getting very close to that first down, and it looks like they got the first down.
And the first guy in on the pressure, DeAndre Mullings Newberry, again, definitely a guy to watch throughout this game, already making an early impact.
Yeah, they're trying to take real advantage of this wind situation because it's going to be very difficult to throw into the wind, but they're trying to get the ball out there.
Now they can set up with a little less urgency, no longer 4th and 5. They get the fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Lee Barnes in the shotgun to his right, Elijah Davis. Barnes, play action, now rolls right. Upfield, this ball is caught just short of the 20, now making a cut back and getting to the 20-yard line. For Elmont, it's Ryan Michelle.
Yeah, really, really nice play. Again, Barnes rolling out. It looked like they had them covered a little bit, but Barnes does a nice rollout right here. Let's take a look at this replay. There he is, puts his hand up, and does a nice job right there.
Good job extending the play, avoiding the pressure. And it's another first down for Elmont. They're marching just outside of the red zone. Barnes gives to Davis. Davis, with little room to run, ends up turning it into something, picks up about 3 on first down.
Yeah, and Mullings Newberry in again for the tackle, doing a nice job on defense, the young man.
Elmont right now putting together a nice drive. They already have the 2-0 lead. Their defense got them the first 2 points of the game with some help from the special teams. And now the offense looking to do their part and extend this to a potential 2-score game. Handoff. It's to Michelle. He's going to take it down to the 15-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and manageable, about 4 yards to go.
Yeah, Michelle right there getting a nice run. Again, trying to run and running behind Davis. Davis, 220 pounds, is a big force.
This is a big group of linemen for Elmont. You're going to see them impact this game all day, and then they bring in the extra tight ends, fullbacks, running backs who also have great size. And once you get through those guys, you got to be ready to tackle Davis. Barnes drops back, looks left, throws the out. It's caught by Michelle, but he's just short of the first.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay right here. Gives it a nice fake and finding Michelle out of the backfield. Wide open right there. Michelle does a nice job. Michelle's got a lot of quickness. Doing a really nice job on this opening drive.
So far using him in a variety of different ways. You saw the handoff earlier on this set of downs. He had the big completion on 4th down for about 20 yards. And now you see him there getting him just short of the sticks. We'll see if Southside can get the stop. This is a long yard here for Elmont to get. They have to go from just past the 19 down to the 17-yard line. Barnes in the shotgun. He'll give to Davis. Davis takes it up the middle, and I think he got enough. He did. It's another 4th down conversion for the Spartans.
Yeah, again, Davis right there, grabbing it, taking that workload, using that big offensive line with Newbegor, Collins, McPherson. These guys are big up front, and they show it by getting that 1st down.
Davis is just a tough guy to bring down. It's going to be a hard day for Southside to try and create tackles for loss. But if they can grab a few, it'll go a long way for them. Elmont here has 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Barnes looks left, fires the screen. It's tipped up. And I believe still caught by Michelle. He bobbled it, but Southside saying they have the ball. It's a takeaway, and running out of the pile with the rock for Southside was Colin Kenny.
What a play by Colin Kenny. We're going to take a look at this replay right now. They're going back to Michelle right there on the quick out. He bobbles the ball, and Colin Kenny does a great job right there with the interception and giving Southside exactly what they needed.
For a moment, it looked like Michelle may have come away with the 50-50 ball, but it was Kenny prevailing, and Southside really needed that after the way this first 8 minutes of this game have gone.
Yeah, and again, you and I were talking about it earlier during before the game started, is momentum. Big momentum shifts, and that is something that Southside needed right there.
A huge moment for them. Their offense steps back on the field with a bit more breathing room than they had their opening drive, but still a lot of room to go before they get where they want to be, and that's going to be a handoff for about a yard on 1st down.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson right there trying to take that carry up the middle.
Just the second play from scrimmage for these two units. First one was a safety, second one, gain of a yard. So far, this Elmont defensive front doing their job. Here's the drop back, screen play, nice setup. This is going to be a big chunk. And a nice tackle made, but not before the 1st down is picked up for A.J. Magarachi.
Yeah, Magarachi has been a big workhorse for this offense. We're going to take a look at this replay right here. They're trying to get this young man, McNulty, the ball. Great screen setup right there. And Magarachi takes it for a 1st down, again, giving them that positive momentum that they need.
And that's just a nice play call, too, to try and get a completion for your quarterback who, after the safety to start in a game where he's stepping in under center for the injured starter, try to get him a little comfortable with the completion there. They absolutely do that, and now they're off with some good field position. But that snap gets fumbled. It's immediately picked up by Magarachi. He'll turn it into something, picking up 3 yards. Take a look at the Southside starting offense. Again, it's not going to be Casario at quarterback, but instead Connor McNulty. They have a great group of running backs. A.J. Magarachi will be one of them. You see him already making a big impact in this game. In the receiver room, Kieran Vetter, Owen Marigliano. You also have a tight end, Colin Kenny, who made the great play on the defensive side of the ball. And along the offensive line, Jaden Johnson, Jalen Hurt, Patrick Lamparello, Ryan Healy, and Jack Scallis. 2nd and 7. Up the middle. Nagarachi takes it to the 38-yard line. That'll set up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Magarachi has been a big workhorse for Southside, and they're going to try to get him the ball as much as they can, especially going into the wind like you and I spoke about, and he's doing a nice job so far.
And what Coach said to me was to have the 2 backs that you can change the pace with and keep fresh legs in all game has been a great luxury for this team. You see, stepping into the backfield here now is Ethan Johnson. Another low snap. It was on the ground. It was picked up, though. And a host of Elmont tacklers will bring down Reagan Patrone.
Yeah, let's take a look. Southside is having some difficulty right now with that center QB exchange right now, and they need to kind of get that fixed up right now because this is their 3rd miscue from center to quarterback, but number 17 right there, Jaden Williams, does a nice job getting in there, along with a lot of Elmont defensive players.
Go handoff right side. Ball's out on the ground. Elmont thinks they have it, and they do. Another turnover in this game. Both defenses have stood tall. And for Elmont, it's Kirkley Grant diving on the loose ball.
And Kirkley Grant does a nice job right there. It's Southside. Let's take a look. Southside goes into the wishbone right now, trying to power in for that 1st down. And I tell you, Grant is right there for the fumble. And also number 9, Davis again in there. Davis is doing a great job on both sides of the ball today.
A lot of players so far. Colin Kenny, now Davis. They've made impacts on both sides. And for Kirkley Grant, you keep it just to defense. He's got the safety and now fumble recovery. Huge start for him. And this Elmont defense gets the ball back. And you mentioned it earlier, but when you're on this side of the field going with the wind, you really want to score your points, and they were able to get down into the red zone before turning it over. See if they can correct that now with 56 seconds to go in the 1st. Handoff will go nowhere. Nice job by the defensive front for Southside.
Yeah, Southside does a nice job right there stopping the ball. They're trying to give Grant, again, one of their key players, the ball, trying to get it run, giving Davis a little bit of a break there, but that defensive line for Southside does a great job.
Clock continues to tick down to 30 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. They'll have to get one more play off before the break, but right now a 2-0 lead. The only score came on that first play after the opening kickoff, a safety. And now they are just going to run this out. So that'll wrap up the 1st quarter. Again, 2-0 the score. Elmont on top over Southside. Really impressive 1st quarter defensively for both teams. Each squad gets a turnover, and you see that safety, which is the lone score of the game, courtesy of Kirkley Grant. Don't go anywhere. 2nd quarter action coming up right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Back live from Southside High School here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We appreciate you spending your morning with us, almost afternoon time here. Elmont has possession. Once again, I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Franco Biancomano. Franco, what'd you see defensively from both squads in that first half that keeps this game at 2-0, in that first quarter, excuse me?
Yeah, defensively they're both doing a nice job of keeping each other out of the end zone. But what I think Southside needs to do is they need to get that QB center exchange because that's what's really holding them back.
It's QB keep for Elmont, won't go anywhere, and they'll bring up 3rd and 11 for the Spartans. It's a big moment for this Southside defense on 3rd down here. You do not want to let them get into 4-down territory.
No, not right now. Right now what they want to do is, especially now Southside has the wind, so what they want to do is keep them out, and then Southside can actually turn around and start throwing the ball with the wind.
Again, a 2-0 score here after the first 12 minutes. Elmont looking to try and change that on this offensive drive, but they face a long 3rd down here against the Southside defense that has stood tall already in this game, forced a turnover on the only drive. And this defensive front has shown a lot of prowess, not only today but all season long. See what Barnes has for him this time. Gets the snap. He's looking downfield. Barnes steps up. He's going to try to run. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but only another yard after that. He's brought down at the 38-yard line. Now decision time for Coach Ines.
Yeah, and again, Barnes trying to throw the ball right here on this replay right now. Can't find anyone. Southside does a really nice job. And Colin Kenny right there, just missing that tackle, followed up by Yuri Carper, who makes a nice tackle.
A great job so far by the Southside secondary. It's always a good thing when we're not naming the corners, and so far they haven't given Barnes anywhere to throw.
No, they're doing a terrific job keeping those receivers at bay, and right now it's another 4th down play for Elmont.
Barnes and Davis in the backfield, the usual look for the Spartans. This is 4th and 9 in this second quarter. Barnes drops back. He gets pressured, fires left side. It's incomplete. Timing was a half second off. Intended target for Elmont was Gipsley Cherry, and that will bring Southside's offense out onto the field after the turnover on downs.
Yeah, and Barnes right now, again, you and I keep talking about this, and it's very, very important because it is a 25-mile-an-hour wind. Barnes steps into the play. Wide open receiver right there, but again, you got to throw into the wind and can't convert on that 4th down, and Southside has great field position right now.
It's been a great job, too, even though they're not resulting in sacks. Southside's defensive front, these 4-man rushes are getting home and creating pressure on Barnes, having to step up, disrupting his pocket. And that's led to a lot of his rushes today as well.
Yeah, Healy, Shalas, Mullings, Newberry, Colin Kenny right there on that big defensive line they're doing a nice job.
Connor McNulty and the Southside offense will take the field again, but we'll get a timeout quickly. We'll take a quick break and step out, so don't go anywhere. We're just a few seconds away from this drive for Southside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back live from Southside High School. 2-0 the score as the Southside offense steps back out onto the field. What do they need to do to try and get this going?
Well, they need to, one of the keys for the game is they need to establish a long drive. That was one of the keys that you and I mentioned earlier in the broadcast is they need to establish that drive. They need to get 1st downs. They need to continue to move the ball and then put it into the end zone.
Again, under center is Connor McNulty trying to get settled in still. And they're definitely going to get some pre-snap flags there. Southside already had a false start earlier on their opening drive right before the safety. They may have just stepped into one again.
And again, this, Kevin, this could result in from having a new quarterback in who has not really been in throughout the season, and it could be just disrupting the timing, but he'll get settled in, and he'll do an excellent job.
So far, we've seen a couple of snap exchanges go wrong. We've seen now the second false start, a safety on kind of a broken play. So there's certainly some of that at play here, the communication offensively and the comfortability with each other. McNulty rolls right. He's got his man. It's Johnson, who's going to make a nice cut. Another one. He crosses the 50 and gets brought down at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, what a great play by Ethan Johnson right there, making some moves and moving the chains. McNulty right there. We're going to take a look at this replay. McNulty doing a quick out right there to Ethan Johnson, and Ethan Johnson right there, move after move, and this is exactly what Southside needs to do.
Just love the play call, too. Again, you have this athlete at quarterback. Get him moving a little bit, create those easy completions, and an easy completion of the flats ends up going for 20 yards and a big chunk play that Southside desperately needed. This time a handoff, trying to find somewhere to go, but running back on running back as Davis makes the tackle and brings down Magarachi.
Yeah, and also number 6, Gene Lenz right there making a nice tackle for the Elmont defense. Nowhere to run right there, and nice job by Elmont.
Second down and 10 from the 47-yard line for Southside. Handoff, Magarachi has some room left, cuts it back inside and gets taken down at the 41, so it sets up third and manageable.
Yeah, nice run right there by Magarachi, following that big offensive line for Southside. Let's take a look at this replay right behind Johnson, Fletcher, Lamparello, Healy, and Chalice right there getting the first down. Getting close to the first down, excuse me.
Big 3rd and 4 here. At the minimum, you want to get 2 or 3 yards to set up a nice 4th down spot for yourselves. Play action. Rolling out right, McNulty sends one downfield, nearly intercepted. Intended target for Southside was Colin Kenny, but looks like he lost his footing at the near sideline.
Yeah, and let's take a look at this. Southside lines up right here in a wishbone. McNulty rolls out, looking for an open Colin Kenny, but just overthrows him a little bit.
That sets up 4th down and 4 from the 41-yard line for Southside. Feels like one that they need. McNulty gets the snap, goes to take it right up the middle, gets hit hard, fumbles, and diving on it is Elmont. And the unbelievable start for Kirkley Grant continues.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay right now. Kevin, look at this. They spread the offense. 3 receivers up top, receiver down. It's a design quarterback run right there, and McNulty just takes a big hit, and just fumbles the ball. And Elmont, nice starting field position.
It was Taj Valentine who jumped on it, and now Kirkley Grant added to the stat line. Forced fumble to go along with what he already had, a fumble recovery and a safety, along with a handful of tackles early. So Kirkley Grant's been the real do-it-all linebacker for this team, one of the best linebackers in Nassau County, and he shows it here in this first half, already impacting the game and contributing the lone score in this game, which still stands at 2-0, 7.5 minutes to play. Touch pass, goes for a big chunk. He's got wheels inside the 20 and brought out of bounds finally by Magarachi. A heck of a run for Ryan Michelle.
Oh, what a play by Ryan Michelle. Great execution right here. Let's take a look at this replay right now. Look at this. Barnes gives it the quick flick, and Michelle right now just making moves, showing that speed this young man has, and does a great job of moving the chains and putting them in great field position.
Ryan Michelle, a senior, and a guy that you can just use wherever. We've already seen it all game. He's got a big reception downfield, now a touch pass that he gets on the motion play, and they also gave him a handoff earlier. Total gadget guy and a complete stud for this Elmont team, one of the great athletes that they have to offer. Now they set up in the red zone. Last time they were here, it was a turnover, the interception by Colin Kenny. This time they go to Davis. Davis makes a nice cut, gets taken down just short of the 10-yard line.
Yeah, nice run by Davis right there, getting tackled by Ethan Johnson, making a play. And Davis, who averages 83.5 yards per game, he needs to get that running game going right now.
7 minutes to play. Still looking for the game's first touchdown. Second down and about 6 for Elmont. Barnes gives again to Michelle, get taken down at the line of scrimmage, so that'll bring up third and a long 5 for the Spartans.
Yeah, Jack Boynes right there did a great job on the blitz and making a nice tackle behind the backfield.
Elmont taking their time as we approach 6 minutes to play in this first half. A really big third down. Barnes gives to Davis. Davis to the right side, has room. Gets taken down short of the goal line, but good enough for the first down. They'll be at the 1.
Yeah, let's take a look. Kevin Davis does a nice job right there, just following Michelle and following his offensive lineman right there, and again, putting them in a position for first and goal.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. You figure you're just going to try and pound this to Davis. Get the big man in. An absolute tank out of the backfield. Having a big morning to this point. Going to see both Davis and Michelle lined up next to their quarterback. Davis on the left, Michelle on the right. They'll hand to Davis, and he is in for the game's first touchdown. Elmont is on the board. The score now 8-0, including the safety.
Yeah, and again, great job by Davis right there. Great play call. Let's take a look at the replay right here, just following his big offensive lineman, getting in there and just making a play happen.
Elijah Davis comes from a lineage of many different Elmont stars, and there's more on the way. Coach Ines told me that just the family's a joy to have, and you see them all walking through the halls, the guys that you haven't gotten to coach yet. And he has fun with them. This extra point gets blocked, so Southside keeps this at a 1-score game. That's a pretty important play.
That is. Perez, does a nice job getting it off, but Colin Kenny, again, doing some really nice, making some really great plays on defense. And again, right there with a blocked extra point, keeping it at a 1-score game.
We'll see what the Southside offense has in store for us, down 8-0 on the other side. We'll be right back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media.
Back live from Southside High School. 5:40 left on the clock in this first half. And we've said it a few times, but what do you want to see now from this Cyclones offense as they're still scoreless late in the second quarter?
Yeah, I can't stress it enough that Southside needs to establish a great long drive down the field. They've been doing that all season long, and for some reason today, with that quarterback center exchange, they have not been able to sustain a long drive, and I think that's what they need to do.
What Coach Inesto told me this week in our conversation was, we like the big plays, we'll take the big plays, but we have that real grind-it-out mentality. We want to put pressure on the defense all day, where we're having those 9, 10, 11-play drives, using up most of the quarter. We just haven't seen that happen today. Already a few turnovers. You had the safety. It's been a tough go early on this senior day for Southside.
Well, you also have to remember, they're also missing their big wide receiver, Brendan Vetter, who is their big playmaker at the wide receiver spot. So with him missing, they need to establish that run game.
They'll get good starting field position here at the 40-yard line. That return was taken for about 10 yards by Kieran Vetter.
And we were just talking about his brother. Yeah, Kieran does a nice job there. Again, look, the key to this game for Southside is they need to just move the ball downfield and get into position to put it into the end zone.
Connor McNulty steps back under center. Johnson and Magarachi behind him. They'll give it right side. Magarachi cuts in, and it's a nice first down run for them, 7 yards, and those are the types of plays you need to create those long drives.
Yep, absolutely. You said it, and that's exactly what he does on this replay right there. Magarachi following his lead blocker, Ethan Johnson, and getting good positive yardage.
Magarachi, a junior, and Ethan Johnson, a sophomore, so these two guys not going anywhere. Magarachi breaks a few tackles and gets down to the 40. Nice run to set up another fresh set of downs for Southside, and now they have some momentum offensively.
Yeah, great run here. Let's take a look at this replay right now. Magarachi running behind Ryan Healy and Chalice right there, making a big play and moving the chains. Exactly what they need to do on this drive before going into the half.
It'll be Elmont getting the ball after the half, so scoring here is really important for Southside. Down 8-0. McNulty hands left side Johnson. He gets taken down after about 3 yards.
And again, you and I are going to keep stressing it. We're going to take a look at this replay right now. Mullins McNulty right there leading and still gaining some positive yardage.
.345 to play here in the first half as the clock continues to tick. Southside searching for their first points of the game. They're inside the 40. Hand off to Johnson. Really good gain up the middle. Another first down.
Yeah, great run. Great run by Ethan Johnson right there. And again, establishing that momentum right there, keeping it going behind that big offensive line. Let's take a look at this. Lamparello right there, number 74, Healy, doing a nice job right there and moving the chains again, Kevin.
And you saw there they take Magarachi off the field. You go to Johnson, and you bring in at fullback Mullings Newberry, who lays a great block. And for a guy who plays at around 165 pounds, Mullings Newberry plays way above that, and he matches up in the trenches with any of the big players that he has to go against. A really good competitor.
Absolutely. He's a playmaker.
And off for Magarachi, a great tackle made. Guess who? It's Kirkley Grant, who has been unstoppable today.
Kirkley Grant right there, finding the open lane and making a great tackle. This young man is a football player. Let's take a look. Vetter right there, almost looking for it and would have had it, but Grant is right there to make the tackle.
So it's a no gain, and it'll set up 2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line here with 2:25 to go in the half. Handoff again, Magarachi. Absolutely nowhere to run. Elijah Davis was there to finish the job for Elmont.
Yeah, and McGruder right there on the defensive line, doing a nice job right there, stopping him and setting them up for a 3rd down and long.
Big 3rd and long. You want to at least get close to that marker, which right now sits at the 19-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 29. And even 10 yards to go. McNulty motions Magarachi. Now drops back. They set up the screen with a lot of room for Johnson. He cuts it in, runs a man over. Johnson still going. Finally taken down at the 6-yard line. What
an amazing play. We have to take a look at this replay right now with We have with Megarachi right now coming, swinging, and being used as a decoy to set up this screen to Ethan Johnson right there. And following his big blocker, captain number 74, Healy.
A great play design, a great job of executing. And now approaching a minute left to play. We're at a minute 15 right now as Southside huddles up and now breaks it. They're trailing 8-0 with a chance to punch it in. Their first trip down to the red zone today. And they're inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. They hand off left side. Magarachi cuts it in. And a few Elmont defenders will take him down at the 2.
Yeah, Megarachi right there following his blocker, Ethan Johnson right there, and gaining some yards.
.40 seconds to play now. Second down from the 3-yard line. They're just letting this clock run down to 30 seconds. And now a timeout taken by Southside, so they really ran that down to basically take Elmont offensively out of this half.
Yeah, and I think their field position right now on the 2-yard line, I think his strategy was let's run the clock down. We probably have 2 more plays to get in there. And again, going into the half, getting on the board I think would be a big positive for Southside.
Varsity Media is your home for the 2025 Section 8 football semifinals. Go to varsitymediapass.com to order. Once again, varsitymediapass.com to order. That's for the 2025 Section 8 football semifinals. Can't get them anywhere else. 30 seconds to play in this half here on that Southside timeout. You think there's much of a message here from Coach Ernesto other than the usual, or is this just a pure stop-the-clock timeout?
I think it's a pure stop-the-clock timeout. Let's, we have our timeouts. Southside has 2 more timeouts. Let's run 2 plays, even 3 plays, and let's try to get in because they want to go into the half with a score on the board.
Southside's offense heads back out there. $8-0 is the score. A little bit of a miscommunication. Now they correct the formation here. The handoff goes to Magarachi. Tries to cut in, but Elmont stands tall.
Yeah, Elmont does a nice job right here. Again, you said it, a little miscommunication right there. Who's going to be the lead fullback? Let's take a look at this replay right now. With that miscommunication right there, Davis again, number 11, Grant right there, stopping that and forcing Southside to call another timeout.
And now Southside is out of timeouts, I believe. I think they used one in the first quarter. Scoreboard's got it flipped, but I think Southside's out of timeouts here. I could be wrong, could be one left. But if they are, that makes this very interesting because you really can't afford to run one short of the goal line.
No, not in this situation, not before the half. They need to punch this score in to keep this game close because then Elmont is going to have all the momentum coming in from halftime.
If you do run a play here and you end up short, say incomplete pass, do you give thought to the field goal or are you just going for it, trying to punch in that touchdown?
I would kick the field goal if it was me just to get some points on the board and go into the half with a little bit of positive momentum. You don't want to leave any points, especially with an 8-0 game right now.
And that blocked extra point really plays a role in this game, keeping it at 1 score. We'll see if Southside can punch in. They go handoff Magarachi right side, heading for the pylon and sneaking into the end zone. A touchdown for Southside. They're on the board with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
And let's take a look at this replay. This is a great call by the offensive coordinator and Phil Ernesto right here. They said, let's take Magarachi and use his speed to hit the corner, and that is exactly what they did. And exactly what Southside needed right now going into the half.
looks like they're bringing out the extra point team, but is there any thought here about going for 2?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would go for 2, and because it's still a one-score game, whether you get the extra point.
They do bring out the offense again for the 2-point conversion, so they sent them out for a moment and switched. Here's the throw to the end zone for 2. They got it, and after a really rough half for Southside offensively, they're tied with 12 seconds to go in this half.
And Luke Corvetti right now, the senior, what a great play right here. McNulty needed this right now. Fakes it, pumps right here, looks again, and finds him for the 2-point conversion, exactly what Southside needed.
Senior to senior here on Senior Day at Southside. It's McNulty to Corvetti. And the way that drive went is exactly how Coach Ernesto wants to see this offense run.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to build momentum coming in to the third quarter, and Southside right now is very, very excited.
So the score, 8-8, and you can really credit Colin Kelly for this as much as anybody. Has the interception and blocked extra point. What a difference in this game.
Yeah, Colin Kelly is playing lights out. Again, he's really, really showing, especially on Senior Day, like you talked about, he's really doing an unbelievable job right now, and he's one of the reasons why Southside right now has tied this game up at 8.
Kenny, one of the seniors, elevating his game today at their last regular season home game. A guy who's been a real staple in this program all through the years and now shining on this beautiful Saturday. He's been doing it in all 3 phases. Here comes Southside to kick it away. It's Lucas Papadopoulos to let this one go. Sends that kick down to the 10-yard line where it's returned up the right side and out of bounds at the 28.
And you don't see that very often right there, Kevin. Barnes as a returner, you don't see that very often, but he does a nice job right there.
Aiden Barnes is a guy who, once football season ends, it gets better. He's a basketball star here, so you know the athleticism is off the charts for Elmont. Coach Ines told me, he said, you're going to watch him on football and you're going to say, this kid's a really good athlete. And then you go watch him in basketball, he's so much better somehow that it's almost unrecognizable. Also just praised the family. He said that this is the type of kid who is such a hard worker, 3-year starter, and he has a set of parents and a family support system that Coach Ines has loved getting to know and loved getting to work with and coach for and really serve and try and help their son get to that next level and just become a better man. So one of the great families on both sides here, 2 really good communities, 2 really good programs in terms of how they raise the young men. And at the end of the half, it's an 8-8 score between these 2 teams. A lot of highlights from a game that only saw 2 touchdowns, but this last one was a huge one for Southside.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, they needed this more than anything, and Magarachi using that speed, getting into there and tying this game up is fantastic.
Quick break, and then second half action between Elmont and Southside in a tie game from beautiful Southside High School on Senior Day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after it on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up? This is Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email Jeff at varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben at varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back live from Southside High School on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We appreciate you joining us, sticking with us from the morning into the afternoon for this great 11 o'clock game. I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Franco Biancamano. Franco, what did you see in that first half that led us to this 8-8 game?
Yeah, I saw a lot of great things and a lot of things that need to be worked on by both offense and defensively. They both did a great job, and Southside needed to establish a great drive, which they did at the end to make it an 8-8 score.
What do you think is the message to Coach Ernesto about carrying that momentum into the second half, and how do they have to actually go about executing that?
Yeah, so they need to take that touchdown that they did at the very end of the second quarter, bring it into halftime and say, hey, look, if we just keep the momentum going, establish a great drive, limit the mistakes that we did from that center quarterback exchange, I think they have a great opportunity.
On the other side, I don't think a player in this game has stood out more than Kirkley Grant, who has completely disrupted the Southside offense on his own. How do you go about trying to limit a player that's so able and willing and dominant if you're this Southside offense?
Yeah, I think they need to put a couple of bodies on him to limit him, but this young man has done an incredible job, including a bunch of other key players from them, Davis and Barnes, the quarterback. They're doing a really, really good job, and they're keeping them in the game right now.
And for that offense, what did you see that maybe impressed from the Elmont offense, who only scored the one touchdown, same as Southside. They had the extra point get blocked. They had the safety, which made this game a tie. But from Elijah Davis and company, Aiden Barnes, what did you see from them that worked?
Well, I think Michelle is doing a really great job. We haven't mentioned him, but he is a force on that offense. His speed ability, getting down the field, he's doing a great job, and he's one of their key members out there, along with Davis and Barnes and a couple of other guys and that big offensive line. They're tremendous, tremendous athletes, and it's very exciting to watch.
Ryan Michelle just getting it done all over offensively. He was out of the backfield, lined up at receiver. We saw him actually contribute the biggest play of this game on that jet sweep that he took probably 50 yards up the far sideline, and he's been a monster, and I think he adds that element of speed that we maybe don't have on either side here other than him, and you really don't have anywhere in Nassau. I mean, it's a really unique set of speed that Michelle brings to the game, and just his quick twitch ability and his ability to move and create those big plays, huge X factor in this game.
Huge X factor, and again, that speed, but also the ability that Davis brings, that big frame, that 220-pound frame of just a workhorse, and he's doing a tremendous job moving the chains and bringing that ball downfield, getting those first downs, and these guys, look, it's going to come down to the wire, I think, and it's going to come down who makes the least mistakes in this game.
What'd you see from the stand-in quarterback, usually wide receiver, Connor McNulty here, one of the great seniors at Southside in that first half?
McNulty did a great job stepping in right now as a starting quarterback. He needed to get established. There was a lot of miscommunication on Southside in the beginning, but once he got settled in, completed a couple of screen passes, that's exactly what he needed to do to bring Southside and get him into that scoring opportunity.
On the other side for Elmont, one of the stories to watch in this game was a guy who had a couple tackles in the first half, Gene Lenz, the linebacker, number 8. You want to keep an eye out for him because what's special about Gene is he deals with sickle cell anemia, which really has created some issues with fatigue for him, some issues with how hard he can go. And it was such a pleasure speaking to Coach Innes about what Gene brings to this team, his perseverance dealing with adversity so early in life. And I asked him as a coach, what is different for you coaching a player who deals with sickle cell anemia? And he just said, when it's a guy who is in the situation that Gene is and has the mentality that he has, we have to tell him to stop sometimes in practice. We have to tell him, you got to slow down. You have to keep yourself in check because he's the hardest worker in the room. He's one of the guys that will go with maximum effort all the time. Everyone else has their hands on their knees after a long practice. Gene's still the guy running, and he's the one that deals with this. So definitely a guy to watch and an incredible, impressive young man who his parents, his coaches, his community are all really proud to call one of their own.
Yeah, you can't say enough about a young man like that, and he's contributing and he's doing a great job today, but for someone who has heart like that and just does that on a day-to-day basis is just incredible. And you know what, I'm I'm excited to just kind of see. It got me a little emotional there for a second. It's amazing. It's amazing that a young man does that, and he's that kind of a person.
And I mentioned it a few times today, but really to go into detail about it, and you know Coach Ernesto well and how he runs this program, but these coaches put a real emphasis on character as the opening kick of the second half is going to go out of bounds on the near sideline. That's how it starts. But these two coaches put a real emphasis on character over football, and let's make sure we have the right young men and we're teaching them how to be young men the right way before we teach them how to win football games or prioritize that. And that's a common theme throughout Long Island football when you get the great opportunity to cover it as we do. But these two teams certainly put a premium on good character.
And that's huge. I think that's huge, and especially in the game of football, having played it so many years and at the highest level, it just makes you a man, and it just carries you through life, and it's something that just makes you a better person, and that's what it's all about.
So it'll be Elmont's offense setting up in an 8-8 game. They had some real signs of life and some impressive drives, one of which ended in a red zone interception, on the bobbled screen pass. Here they go with the handoff to Davis, who scored the lone touchdown for them. Then they'll take it for about 3 yards. Southside is a really tall task with trying to slow down Davis.
Yeah, Davis right now is doing a good job, and it looks like Elmont said, you know what, hey, let's do a little misdirection here. Let's try to confuse that defense, those big guys up front, and look for that in the second half to try to do a little something different.
The touchdown scorers from that first half were Elijah Davis, and for Southside it was A.J. Magarachi, the two star running backs that these teams each have to offer in great running games. Of course, we've mentioned it a few times, but Elmont also had the safety by a Kirkley Grant. Out of the shotgun, Barnes just going to take it and run left. Davis, his lead blocker. Barnes puts the head down and gets the first.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, right before going into the half. Let's take a look at this replay right now with Barnes. And this is exactly the point that I was going to get into when you mentioned what a great athlete he is. I'm enjoying watching him play football, but you said you have to see him on the basketball court. I'm actually going to go and try to see him on the basketball court because I'm excited what an impressive athlete, what an impressive young man he is, and it just shows right there, moving the chains already.
You wonder if you see more of that design runs for him in this second half. A lot of attempts to pass, trying to run it through Davis, and you have a real weapon with his legs here at quarterback. It looks like maybe that's the direction they're going to try to go in this third quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
Barnes going to take it again. Same play with Davis as his lead blocker. This time just gets past the line of scrimmage before he's forced out of bounds. Southside was ready for it there.
Yeah, and again, Papadopoulos on that side with, he's also hurt. And you can see him right now holding his hand, wearing a big cast around that hand, which has a little bit of an effect on someone.
Quick official timeout here for spotting the ball.
And you got to give Papadopoulos a little bit of credit here because, you could easily say, hey, look, something's going on with my hand. I broke my hand. I can't play. But he's out there. He said, look, there's no stopping me. I'm playing. Wrap it up and let me get out there.
10.5 to play in this third quarter. 8-8 game. It's second down and 9. Handoff to Davis. He chugs up the middle, extends. Ball popped out at the end, but he was certainly down. Think he was on it anyways right after. He's just short of the first, though. They mark him down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay right now. Davis right up the middle, right there following that big offensive line, especially Nobu Goro, who we haven't really mentioned, the freshman offensive, the left guard, who is an incredible athlete. Davis just taking it right up the gut and setting them up for a nice second and short.
Here they come with Barnes and Davis once again in the backfield. To the shotgun, it's Barnes to his left, his star running back. And now Barnes will just take it left side on his own. He gets wrapped up and ripped down. A great job in pursuit and to finish by Ethan Johnson.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson right there. We're going to take a look at this replay right now. They want to give it to Barnes to try to get that first down. Ethan Johnson right there does a great job chasing him from behind. along with Jalen Fletcher.
Clock ticks down, close to 9 minutes in this third quarter of a tie game on Southside Senior Day. Again, a reminder, if you're just tuning in, both of these teams likely to play each other in the postseason in the first round, which makes this a unique matchup. Both getting a look at their potential playoff opponent. So far, a really hard-fought game. Get a timeout taken by Elmont here with 9:03 to play in this tie game. We'll take a quick step out. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the drive ensues here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media.
Still tied at 8-8 here in the third quarter. What do you think is the logic behind the timeout for Coach NS?
Well, they're looking again. They're in a fourth down situation, and again, I have to speak differently because I'm a special teams guy, and I love pinning teams deep, especially in a game that's been so close and not giving them the momentum that Southside has that they went into the half with. I would pin them deep, and it doesn't look like they're going to punt. But that's, again, my logic behind it is try to pin a team deep, but they're looking to go and get the first down.
The give to Davis. He runs into a pile and is short. Great stand for the Southside defense, and they get terrific starting field position for their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and this is a great job, and this is exactly what I was talking about is, look, you're trying to get them. It's an 8-8 score. Why not pin them deep like you did on that opening kickoff and force? Like, let's take a look at this. They went really, really quickly right here. They gave it to the big guy, Davis, right there. But Southside does a nice job stopping them. And, again, the logic behind that, and the coach knows, obviously, his offense and their special teams, but this is giving Southside a great field position.
Absolutely, and we stay tied, 8-8, 8:57 on the clock. Southside had the great touchdown drive to end the half, capped off by A.J. Magarachi. Let's see if they can continue that. It's our first look since their score, and the first carry for Magarachi is going to be a tackle for loss in there right away. For Elmont, it was Gene Lenz.
And let's take a look at Gene. Again, we were just talking about this young man. He comes up for that blitz, and he got through there, took on the fullback, and does a great job for a 3-yard loss right now. Nice play by Gene right there.
Southside will go with the play action rollout from McNulty. Throws one downfield. It's completed. See where they mark him with forward progress at the 50-yard line. On the reception for Southside, it was Kieran Vetter.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. Nice rollout right here. Doesn't really get his feet set, but still completes the play to Vetter, and Vetter does a nice job right there.
Third down and 5 now with 7.5 to play. Southside trying to pick up a first down. And the wind so strong it just rolled the ball right off its spot.
It's windy out there. It sure is.
Nice to be up in the box here, avoiding that. Best place to be.
Yeah, I mean, we can see Coach right there, Coach Inez right there, actually put on a sweatshirt. He came out with a short sleeve shirt during pregame warm-up, and now he's in a sweater. You can tell it's windy out there.
McNulty hands off to Johnson. Johnson is going to be taken down short of the first down marker. They'll set up 4th and 1 here. You imagine Coach Inesto is going to decide to go for this.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. And look at Davis right now, who blitzed from the opposite side and caught him from behind right there. Ethan Johnson does do a nice job putting them in a short yardage situation. But, again, Davis right there blitzing all the way from the backside and making a play. Incredible.
Big fourth down coming up.
Yeah, it looks like the wind's picking up right now, Kevin. So there is no, in Coach Ernesto, there is no punting right now.
Facing a loaded front, handoff is going to get enough as it's taken right up the middle for a first down by A.J. Magarachi.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay right now. Double tight wishbone right there. Magarachi following his lead blockers and getting that first down, which is something that they needed right now.
Coach Ernesto wants to see long drives. Converting on fourth down is one way to get there. McNulty's going to hand off right side for Magarachi. He has a hole, but gets blown up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he got blown up at the line of scrimmage, and look who it is right there. Kirkley Grant right there making a big play, getting in there. This young man can play some football.
There's what Aiden Barnes involved, Lenz Jean, as well as Justin Reed. So Elmont, so many guys surrounding the ball that we've seen in multiple phases, but Kirkley Grant certainly leading the way. And you can't run away from him because you got him coming at you from everywhere. Johnson takes it up the middle, and that's going to be right around the marker. And they'll give him the first.
Yeah, this is a great job. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this replay. Following his big offensive lineman right there. Eden Johnson behind Lamparello, Healy and Fletcher. And again, this is what you and I talked about. Southside keys are to establish long runs, keep that defense on the field, and establish runs and moving the chains, and they'll be in a good position.
They're at the 32-yard line now with a 1st and 10. We're under 5 minutes to play, and one of the biggest aspects of this is they just run chunks of time off the clock. And in a game where the offenses have trended the way they have today, that is huge to try and do that on the long scoring drives. Here's Magarachi, stiff arms out to the sideline, cuts back in, and finally taken down by Michelle at the 22.
Yeah, Michelle did a nice play there. Magarachi, again, using that speed to get to the outside. Let's take a look at this right now. There could be a little bit someone got away with a little bit of holding right there, but A.J. Magarachi does a great job right there, staying in bounds, making some moves, and getting the first down.
Nice run to end up. They'll actually mark them about an inch short, and now they'll move the chain. So they had one official who was saying just short, and then they end up, the far side official gives the first, which I definitely think was the right call there after watching the run. We're under 4.5 to play. Clock continues down to 4:20 in an 8-8 game.
And I think one of the key points that we need to bring up is Southside is going into the wind right now, and they're establishing that run game. For Elmont, they need to put a stop to it because they're going to go against the wind later on, and it's hard to throw into this wind.
Handoff. It's going to be taken up the middle for no gain. That was Reagan Patron. And this is the time of possession battle and the victory in this third quarter so far that Coach Ernesto really wants to see from his guys. You get the quick defensive stop, only 5 or 6 plays ran by Elmont, and now you've just charged down the field, grinding away at this drive. We're going to be at 3 minutes to go in a moment. The handoff, or play action, roll out McNulty, throws downfield. That ball's caught, coming back and then moving forward again for Southside after the reception. Owen Marigliano
Yeah, and McNulty right there did an excellent job. Rolls out. Let's take a look at the replay. He's rolling out. Again, getting more comfortable with the offense. Rolls out and finds Marigliano right there. Wide open, and Marigliano does a nice job moving the chains again.
And one thing that you've really been able to see over the last few years with young quarterbacks, and really quarterbacks at every level, is the ability to throw and run the passing game on the move. You don't have to be sitting there. And McNulty, who's such a great athlete, showing us today that especially when rolling right, he's an absolute weapon in the passing game. Another big completion there. He's under center here, though. Hands off right side. Magarachi. It's Davis wrapping him up immediately and taking him down.
Davis does a great job right there. Yeah, and you're absolutely right on that. McNulty's doing a great job, but let's take a look at this replay real quick right here. Again, under center. Davis right there just pushing the fullback and making the tackle. That kid is an absolute force. But going back to what you said, the one thing about them possibly playing each other next week is that McNulty is under center, but Cesario could come back, and now Elmont hasn't prepared, hasn't seen him. So that gives Southside an advantage right there.
And you wonder if that played into the thinking for Coach, because you're saying we're probably playing this team again. Our guy is banged up anyways. Maybe he could go if it was a playoff game this week, but we can give him a different look and still feel comfortable about the guy we have and our chance at winning. Definitely a great point there, and why that could be advantageous for Southside. Here's a run left side for Johnson. That gets blown up. Davis is there again, along with Lenz Jean, and Davis on both sides of the ball has just been a monster.
Yeah, that was Barnes right there. Made a great play running up. Jeans, Barnes, these guys, Davis, they're doing an incredible job on defense, keeping them from getting into the end zone. But yeah, you're right. I think it played into, hey, he's banged up now. Let's give him a little bit of rest. And you know what? At least they won't see him, and we'll get him ready for the playoffs.
Under a minute to play now on this marathon drive for Southside. They're at the 10-yard line. It's third down. Here's a throw over the middle. Caught for the touchdown. McNulty with his first passing touchdown of the game. And it's complete to Colin Kenny.
And this is a huge, let's take a look at this again. This is a huge confidence builder right here. McNulty faking to A.J. Magarachi and throwing and finding. This kid, Colin Kenny, has been playing lights out today. And unbelievable catch for the senior. Senior to senior on senior day. It doesn't get any better than that.
They connected on the 2-point conversion earlier to tie the game. Now they do it to take the lead. And you have the field goal unit is out there for the extra point. Some trickery going in and out with the formation. It'll be Papadopoulos lining up the PAT. We've already seen one extra point get blocked. This is a big one for the Cyclones. He puts it up and through. 15-8 is the score. And for Southside, it's their first lead of the game.
Yeah, unbelievable drive. This is exactly what they wanted to do. Take time off the clock, drive into the wind. They did exactly what their keys were to getting into that end zone and exactly what they wanted to do.
And for Elmont, you have so many two-way players that are your key players on both sides of the ball. They get really worn down on that drive. You wonder how they can come out and respond here. Barnes, Davis, Kirkley Grant, they're all big playmakers both ways. And defensively on that drive, they were very involved.
Yeah, and that does. That's a great point. That takes a lot. And now they have to go back on offense. They don't get a break. They don't get a rest. And, yeah, it's gonna be tough, but Elmont needs to establish a nice drive down the field, and try to get in there to tie the game. But you and I spoke about it earlier. Papadopoulos, again, with that hand wrapped up, that extra point is huge. If he doesn't wrap that hand up, he doesn't play. They can't make that extra point, so credit out to him.
Might sound like a silly question, but you've kicked. Is there any psyche disadvantage with having the hand injury for a kicker who obviously doesn't need to use it, but just having that big cast on your hand, I feel like has to play, at least in practice during the week, trying to get comfortable with it, a little bit into the mental of just playing the sport in general, no matter the position.
It does, but you know what? He's mentally tough. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been kicking. I know the family. They're a great family. His brother used to be a kicker here at Southside, so he's got a lot of confidence, and he's been showing it, and very proud of him. I mean, does it take away? It could, but not for him.
And you see right here, frustrating moment for a kicker. Ball falls off the tee as he's running up.
Well, if you want to hear a quick funny story, that actually happened to me in a professional game. I was kicking in Denver, and the ball fell off the tee and against the Arizona Cardinals, and everybody stopped, and they're like, well, what happened? Well, the ball fell off the tee, and it was a funny moment, but it's one of the exciting stories, one of the memories that I have.
Drops this one in. It gets muffed, and now diving on it is Elmont. He's doing a really nice job today, Papadopoulos, in the short kicking game with the squib earlier. Now you see it there. He's putting a lot of pressure on the front half of that Elmont returning team.
Yeah, you can see the special teams coach giving him a hug saying, hey, that's a great play. You see that? I designed that. So, yeah, he's doing a nice job today. They almost got that ball back, too.
That was a close one. For Elmont, they have decent starting field position to the 35-yard line. Down by a touchdown now. It's the first time they've had to play from behind with this offense. 44 seconds left, and you've mentioned it a few times today. You mentioned it before on that prior Southside drive, but now only 44 seconds with the wind until the rest of the game. You feel like you're playing uphill against these 25, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. They'll go with that touch pass again, but a great tackle made for loss, and that's a huge start defensively for Southside. Getting after it was Jaden Johnson.
Yeah, great play. Again, they went for that jet sweep right there that really got them close to the end zone on that first score for them. Sherry right there, and Southside does a great job defending it.
Clock will tick down likely to the end of the third quarter here, and for Southside, you cannot be happier with how this 12-minute frame went.
Yes, yep, and I think Coach Ernesto's message to them at halftime is saying, hey, listen, let's build on this momentum. Let's establish long drives, and that's exactly what they did.
So the clock will expire on the third quarter. 15-8 is the score. Southside took the lead back. The only score of the third quarter went to the Cyclones. They have a touchdown advantage heading in to the final frame. Don't go anywhere. We'll have it on the other side right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching.
Back live from Southside High School, where the Cyclones now have a touchdown lead. We appreciate you sticking with us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. They go Wildcat here for no gain, and now Southside has turned all that offensive momentum into great defense, which they've had all day long. Down on the field, Davis still, so we'll get a moment on the injury timeout. It's Elijah Davis who's still sitting down at the spot he got tackled, being tended to by Elmont trainers. During this break, we want to remind you that Varsity Media is your home for the 2025 Section 8 football semifinals. Go to varsitymediapass.com to order. Once again, that's varsitymediapass.com to order. That's for all of the Section 8 football semifinals this year, which it's going to be a great month. You hear so many people and players who went on to have great college and professional careers say nothing was better than November high school football, Friday nights, Saturday afternoons. These are the best memories, and it's where you really grow your love for the game, and it's just a great time of the year.
They do, and it's something that they're going to remember forever. I mean, it's been 20-plus years that I haven't, played football, and it's some of the best memories that I have. Still keep in contact with a lot of players, a lot of friends we have. It's just it's a brotherhood, and these guys are going to remember it forever.
It's the biggest cliche in the football world, right? The brotherhood, and a lot of people scoff at it, but it's such a serious thing, and those inside the game understand it. And I'm telling you, when you get to cover these teams and really get that in-depth look at how everybody does it, it's not only a brotherhood with just the guys who play, which is the ultimate brotherhood, but community to community, the threads, the coaches, everything all tied together. And for these two teams, they've had so many battles in their history. Another one today. You get a timeout for Elmont, so they're second of the half, and that's something to watch as they're trailing by a touchdown in this fourth quarter, now down to one timeout remaining.
Yeah, and with a 3rd and long right now, this is something that they need. They really need this. And I don't know, did we see Davis come back yet? Because Davis kind of he's out on the sideline right now. It looks like it's an ankle injury. But that is one of their key players right now. They can't afford to lose him right now.
He's over there pacing on the far sideline now to the bench, but trying to walk it off, dealing with the trainers. They've got him stretching with the rubber bands and trying to get him as comfortable as he can be. But, again, we've said it so many times, but you got playoffs coming up. You got to be really cautious with Davis, especially because this matchup is essentially locked in. The seeding will be different, the literal number you get, but the matchup is likely the same, Southside versus Elmont next week. I believe if Southside were to lose, they'd go from a 2 seed to a 3 seed, and then it would be the opposite on the 7 and 8 seed for Elmont. But no matter what, probably facing each other. There's a drop back for Barnes, rolls right under pressure, wrapped up, and guess who? Having an unbelievable senior day, Colin Kenny with the sack.
Big play by Colin Kenny, and Barnes had all the time in the world there. Just, again, the Southside corners, that secondary is really doing a great job covering those receivers, and Barnes can't find anybody, and then boom, Colin Kenny right there with the, I don't want to say it, but it could be the nail in the coffin right there.
And now, for the first time, we see a punt team come out to go against the wind. A really tough test for the special teams unit of Elmont, who's had some big moments today, including the first play of the game for Grieven Perez. He's going to have to try and help his team out under pressure. Sends one to the 36-yard line, which takes a bounce across the 40, down at the 42.
Yeah, and Southside was coming on that. A lot of pressure right there, and Perez does a really nice job getting that ball off. Still giving them pretty good field position, but Perez did a nice job there.
10.5 to play, so plenty of time for Elmont to still get back into this, but this is a pivotal drive for Southside to try and put some real pressure on them and add a second score to this lead.
Yeah, and again, Southside, the last couple of drives they've established before going into the half and their last touchdown drive is exactly what they wanted to do. So I think now they're getting their pace together. Now they're getting, McNulty is comfortable under center. They haven't made mistakes, and they're showing it.
Colin Kenny today has a touchdown, 2-point conversion, both on receptions as we get a handoff to Magarachi. He'll take it down past the first down marker. That's a really tough gain for him to get at least to the sticks. If they're not going to give it to him, they'll be an inch away. But Colin Kenny, he's got the 2-point conversion, touchdown, reception, now a sack. He also had the interception on the opening drive for Elmont in the first quarter. You cannot have a better day on your senior day here than the tight end has had.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And hats off to that young man. But now, here's the great thing that Southside, I don't know if you've noticed this, but here's what they're doing. They're missing Davis at that at that linebacker position. So Southside is going to take advantage of pushing that ball and running up the gut.
Davis stretching out on the sideline still. They're going to hand it off right up the middle to Johnson, that fullback dive. It's going to get him a yard and enough for a first. And that's exactly the kinds of plays that Coach Ernesto wants. Get me the first down, you don't go too much further, and we keep running the clock.
Yeah, let's take a look. He did a nice job right there. Just exactly what he needed for the first down. And McPherson did a nice job, the senior McPherson, making a tackle. Just not enough.
Clock continues to roll down past 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Cyclones have a touchdown lead. McNulty hands off right side. And it's going to be for no gain, as Nagarachi had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and you know what? Davis being out, you still have their leader at linebacker, Grant 11, just finding that spot and making it, and making that tackle.
And for Coach Ernesto, if they do indeed play Elmont again in the playoff, you got to be losing a little bit of sleep having to watch Kirkley Grant film for the second week.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like he came up a little hobbly on that last play. Let's see how he does.
Hand off to Johnson from McNulty. Johnson shot out of a cannon heading towards the goal line. Stumbles in for the Southside touchdown.
Ethan Johnson behind that big offensive line. And you said it, he shot out of a cannon and he went in for the touchdown.
We have an injury on the field behind the play.
But let's take a look at this play right now. They're taking advantage of Davis not being in there. He shoots out. It almost looked like Grant was also kind of trying to recover from his last play too, and he did a great job right there in scoring.
Great job by Johnson. We still have a man down on the field for Southside. Can't get a read on the number. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. It's an offensive lineman dealing with the training staff now.
Oh, yeah, and this is worrisome right now for Southside. This is their captain, number 74, Ryan Healy. We hope he's okay.
Healy now sitting up on the field, gets helped up, and he'll walk off with the help of the athletic trainers. Walking off under his own power, but getting a little aid on his left side. Hope he's all right. Such a great young man and leader, and along with being a great football player.
Yeah, he's been a real leader for this Southside for all the years that he's played. You hate to see that on senior day.
The extra point is right through the middle, and it makes it a 22-8 game. Now a 14-point lead. Southside have just exploded on their last 3 offensive drives.
Yeah, and again, you and I spoke about this, and we also spoke about this during the break, this is exactly what Southside needed to do, establish those runs, those long drives, and they finally got it together, and it shows by the score right now.
Absolutely, and for them right now, a 2-score lead feels insurmountable for Elmont, but it certainly isn't. But the way this Southside defense is played, and now you're going against the wind, potentially without Elijah Davis, the real motor of your offense, it is a tough mountain to climb for the Spartans.
Yeah, and we hope he's okay on the sideline. He's still there. It looks like he's stretching. It looks like it could be an ankle injury. But again, we spoke about this. If they are going to meet again next week, hey, you know what? We'll take this loss and we'll, get ready for our game next week, because it's really all about the playoffs.
Absolutely. And again, not to act like this game is over at 14-point difference, but there's been a lot of positives for Elmont in this matchup too, especially on that defensive side of the football. And they found some things offensively that really worked for them, but you had the turnover that was a tough one because it's a bobbled screen play that Kenny makes a terrific play on to rip the ball out of the receiver's hands. It's moments like that have been the turning point. So you feel like you were right there in this game throughout, even though you're down 22-8.
No, absolutely. Elmont is doing a fantastic job. They just, again, they just have to try to build on the momentum on the positive plays that they've had.
Barnes with the return gets ripped down by his own bench, and that's going to start the drive for Elmont around the 28-yard line.
Yeah, great run there by Barnes. Again, an incredible athlete trying to make something happen. It's fun to watch.
So their offense will come out here in what is a must-score drive, and you have to do it relatively quick. You're without your leading rusher. Elijah Davis is not on the field, still on the bench, but he looks like he's in good shape. So I don't want to alarm anybody with the injury. He's been standing up, stretching, right now sitting down, still stretching, but up and down, walking around on the sideline. Working on his left leg, whether it's his ankle, his calf. He's been stretching it out with the band, working with the athletic trainers.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Michelle right there now.
There's Michelle, catches a quick swing pass, and he gets taken down. Terrific job by the Southside defensive front to contain him.
Yeah, that's a really nice play, and they're looking to get Michelle the ball. They're looking to get that speed, and they do a nice swing pass for a few yards.
Under 7.5 minutes to play. You look back at the coaches' keys to the game, and for Southside, they were prevent big plays, which they've done a good job of with the exception of the one Michelle completion. Win the turnover battle, they have, and put together long drives. That's exactly what they've done since under 4 minutes in the second quarter, hitting on all of those, and that's where they've really swung the game. The other side of things for Coach Ines to execute on offense. For a lot of the game, they've done that, but it's been tough to finish in the red zone. Here's Barnes with the run to the right. It's a good gain for him. They'll be out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and you said it exactly. It's the team that wins the keys of the game. That's the team that's going to come out on top, and they've both been doing a great job doing it. But again, there's only so much that Barnes can do right now. There's only so much. I mean, he's human. He's going to get tired. He's going to, you're running the ball. He's playing defense. It's a lot of work for that young man, and he's still out there doing a great job.
I mean, definition of do-it-all guy. He's at linebacker. He's playing the secondary. He's playing quarterback. He's returning kicks. Definitely a weapon for this Elmont team. We have another injury on the field right now for Elmont, so that'll put a quick break in the game. Trying to once again get a confirmation on the number before I give it to you. It's number 52, Xavion McPherson, who's down now dealing with the trainers. Unfortunately, a busy fourth quarter of injuries so far. I hope these guys are all right.
Yeah, it's been a fourth quarter of injuries, so yeah, we hope he's all right. And he looks to be okay.
He gets up, walks off.
Give you a quick update, too, on Healy. Healy looks like he's sitting down with an ice pack on his knee. Hopefully he's all right also.
So the Elmont offense will come back out. They trail by 14 points, 6:39 to play. They are on the road, Southside Senior Day, so a good atmosphere, a good energy, and a 14-point lead for Southside. The day couldn't be going much better for them to this point. Here's a keep right up the middle, gets stuffed. That'll bring up fourth down.
Yeah, and another fourth down for Elmont. And again, you and I were talking about it. It's going to be very difficult to throw into the wind. And, Barnes is kind of limited right now.
And the good news for Elmont is that Elijah Davis hasn't returned to the field, but he's back on the sideline with his teammates now, no longer working with the trainer, standing with the rest of the Elmont bench, so that's a good sign for him as he left the game with an injury early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any sign of returning back and not sitting on the bench is good news for Elmont.
Drop back for Barnes, immediately pressured. He sends one deep downfield. It is almost intercepted. Regardless, it'll be Southside ball. A great try to stretch the field. Nearly taken away. Cyclones get the ball back.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. Barnes just lets one loose right there. And almost, it's a great effort. Absolutely a great effort. And Papadopoulos right there. You got to give him credit. It's tough to catch a ball with when you got a cast on your hand.
That plays hard enough with two. Six or 5:32, excuse me, to go in a 22-8 game. Now this Southside offense can come out and just try and pick up a few first downs and really rip this clock and just start shredding it down. They were down 8-0. They've now outscored Elmont 22-0 since. This run is going to go backwards. Great job defensively to bring down Magarachi.
Yeah, what a nice play by Michelle again. Michelle is having a day on offense and defense, and he does a nice job right there stopping Magarachi.
I think one thing about this Southside game that you really can't see from the broadcast is Ryan Healy is sitting at the back of the bench with that ice pack on his knee, as you mentioned, Franco, but every 5 seconds, somebody, a coach, a player, comes up to him, gives him a big hug. He has a laugh with him, and that just tells you about the character and what he means to this team. So really rooting for Ryan to get healthy and be all right after this one. Here's a handoff to Johnson, takes it right side, a great tackle made, of course, by Kirkley Grant. That'll bring up third down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. He's been a leader for this team. He is a leader for this team, and we hope that he is okay with a little ice pack on. But, man, is it fun to watch Grant play at linebacker. This young man is incredible, the plays that he's making.
He's got a great build for a linebacker, too, with great speed. He's really doesn't miss a tackle either. When he's involved in a play, you cannot shake him. What a weapon defensively.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's provided a big boost blocking for this Elmont team on the offensive side of the ball. Here's Southside now on 3rd and 11. Timeout called by Coach Phil Inesto. He's going to talk things over before this 3rd and long. We'll have the result and the play call when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Just a moment away on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
Back live for fourth quarter action, 3:46 on the clock. 3rd and 11. Coach Inesto wanted to talk things over before this 3rd and long. You convert this, you can really ice the game if you can pick up a first down here, officially put this one to rest and start to just run the clock out. You can get it under 3 minutes. So definitely a big down, and Elmont's last real shot at keeping themselves in this game and giving their offense a chance to make it close.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Kevin. It's gonna be tough for Elmont. Again, you've got a lot of factors that are working against you. The wind, you got to get the ball back, and you got a couple of players that are sitting out right now. So there's a lot that's going against them, but they're hanging in.
3rd and 11. The drop back. McNulty looks to throw, tucks it. He'll keep it and run for a good gain. McNulty makes a man miss, now cuts it back to the outside. And on his senior day, he makes an unbelievable play. Connor McNulty for 6.
Unbelievable. I am left speechless right now. What an unbelievable play by McNulty. We're going to take a look at this replay. This is a highlight reel in itself. It is incredible. Let's take a look right here. Has some time to throw right there. Shocked that he's not tackled. Move after move. Finding the open guy right there. Cut back. And a great block over there by number 10, Kieran Vetter, getting him into the end zone. Unbelievable. This is a highlight reel play for him.
Get the extra point. Is up and through. Now the score 29-8. And when he tucks it and starts running, my thought was, this is a smart play, 3rd and 11. You just want to keep the clock running. Don't force anything downfield. And then he makes a man miss. Great cut, bounces it outside, and he's gone. And that goes to what Coach Ernesto had said about this kid's just a great football player and a great athlete. I don't really care where he's playing. I want him with the ball. And he's done a great job here, Franco, after a slow start to this game for the entire offense, settling in and playing this quarterback position really well.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier that he's such a great athlete. And right there shows you what an incredible athlete he is and why he's in there today at the starting quarterback position. Really incredible. You can't say anything. It's just amazing on a senior day. He'll remember that run for the rest of his life, and it's incredible.
A total gamer today. He's come out and showed some real grit and competitiveness in this game. That's a huge run, and I'm assuming when the timeout was called, that was not the play that Coach Ernesto drew up, but he's glad that's what ended up happening.
Well, Coach Ernesto will take that. He'll say, that was all drawn up. But no, absolutely. That was all him. He made that happen. Elmont did a great job covering their receivers. But, again, great effort by McNulty. It's fun to watch. You love to watch that.
21-point lead now. Papadopoulos to kick off. Sends this one to the near side, 10-yard line. On the return, Barnes splits a few tacklers, continues as he's pushed forward to the 46-yard line. A great return for the quarterback.
Ooh, Barnes was just a jersey pull away from breaking that one.
We have another man down on the field. It was right at the tackle spot. It's DeAndre Mullings-Newberry, who's been outstanding today in this game, and another key piece off the field for this team.
Yeah, it could be where he looks like he might have had the wind knocked out of him. But again, that's a touchdown-saving tackle right there.
One of those guys today in the game that maybe won't pop on the box score when you read the paper tomorrow, but absolutely has impacted this game for Southside today and been one of the players that watching it has really popped.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And again, only being a junior, he is a big key figure in this team, on this offense and defense, and he's back up. There he is.
Great sign to see him get up and run off the field. He was grabbing at his chest as he ran off, probably got the wind knocked out of him on that tackle, as you said.
Yeah, it looks like Southside's making a few changes right now, getting a couple of different guys in. And again, this is big momentum for them going into this playoff game, saying, hey, look, we can do this. With one quarterback or the other quarterback, we've got this.
And I'm sure that they're going to watch the film and see a lot of things that they didn't love early in this game and say, we were still able to go up 21 in the fourth. You get changes on both sides, a lot of different faces in this game now. That handoff was for Lenz Jean, who, of course, has been highlighted on defense today, but he gets the carry and takes it just past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Gene, again, great story, great young man, trying to get a few runs in there. Let's see what he can do.
Clock continues to run, and now the way this fourth quarter's gone, you're at that point where it's just about leaving this game healthy for both teams. You've had a couple guys get banged up. Unfortunately, in this fourth quarter, you've seen some injuries. And you just want to get out of this game healthy, get to the playoffs, and then try and make some noise there.
Yeah, and look, if they weren't in the playoffs, I'd say, hey, get those guys back in there, and I'm sure those guys would want to get back in there, especially if they're seniors. But they have the postseason to look forward to. So let's get them healthy, give them a break, and let's prepare for Southside for next week.
Another handoff for Gene. And forward progress will stop him at the line of scrimmage. The quarterback for Elmont is Mikio Prinsima. Prinsima, a junior, typically a wide receiver, defensive back, but also the backup quarterback.
Southside making some changes right now, getting a couple of seniors into the game. It's exciting. Get these young men in there for their senior day.
And one of those guys, Anthony Selecchia, who in the linebacking core makes a play, gets into the game. Just a drop back throw right side. It hangs up there and drops incomplete with 1:11 to go in this game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting, especially being a senior, getting in there and playing. I mean, Briggs Jr. is in there too right now. It's a senior. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about.
Minute 11 on the clock, and it's 4th and 8 for Elmont. So they'll get the punt team a look. High snap, but a whistle, pre-snap penalty. The punter for Elmont, once again, Grieven Perez. Perez also a senior.
Yeah, and I was watching Perez during pregame warm-up. He was hitting some nice balls. But then, of course, that's all I do is watch kickers and punters.
Those are the guys you got to watch.
Yeah.
Penalty was actually on Southside, so it moves him up. Perez grabs a high snap and sends one downfield. Takes a nice roll for Elmont. And you got to enjoy seeing that. It's going to stop right down at the 3.
Absolutely, and Perez is happy about that. Yeah, he does a nice job grabbing a high snap and getting it off really, really quickly. Hey.
Not a lot of punting in this game, but Perez gets to leave here with something now and say that the work he put in this week was executed and done well on Saturday.
Yep, absolutely.
54 seconds on the clock of what will be a big Southside win to finish their year. They went 5-2 this season. They'll finish the year at a strong 6-2 and head into playoffs with a ton of momentum.
Yeah, this is something that they wanted to do. Coach Inesto wanted it. We were talking during pregame warm-up. They're a good team. Elmont is a really, really good team, and they wanted to come out here with a victory to kind of put, to put the pressure on Elmont for next week to say, hey, look, what do we need to do? Because Southside comes out. Southside does a great job with different formations, different looks. So Elmont needs to adjust to that.
It's 21-point difference. 29-8 is the score. But I'd say if these two teams matched up, Elmont also can't be coming into this saying, we can't win this game. We just lost by 21. There's no way that's the mindset over there for Coach Ines and his team. And same, obviously, for Southside. Both teams have to think that's a winnable playoff game for them and a chance to really spark a run for them through these Nassau County playoffs.
No, and you said it right. I mean, football is you can win on any given Saturday, any given Friday night. It's who shows up that day and how you play the game. So, no, absolutely. These two are going to prepare this week for each other like they have. They just have a little more additional film on each other. But they're going to be ready to play. Absolutely.
And it only increases the rivalry that will come next week. A lot of these guys are going to get those same individual matchups 2 weeks in a row. And if you lost them, you're trying to go out and change that. And if you were the one that won them, you're trying to go out and dominate it again. As the final play is run, victory formation for Southside, and that'll wrap up this game. 29-8, the final score. Franco, what did Southside do today that was able to just propel them on a 29-0 run to win this game?
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. They stuck to their keys of the game. They prevented the big plays. They only gave up one. They won the turnover battle, and they put those long drives together, which is what gave them this victory today.
You see the two teams shaking hands. It was a good battle here today between Southside and Elmont. A close game almost the whole way, but Southside really poured it on in the fourth, adding 2 touchdowns. But from the start, the fanfare here and everything on senior day lived up to the reputation Southside has. It started with a safety for Elmont, and then they went up 8-0 in this game. But after that, all Cyclones, as they put in 29 points without allowing one to close this one out. And the highlight play from Connor McNulty, who was outstanding in this second half. Really great job by McNulty and his Cyclones. For Coach Ernesto, they finished the year 6-2. And they'll likely play Elmont in the playoffs next week, but not official yet. Thank you for joining us today on Varsity Media. I'd like to thank our entire team before we step out. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks. For our camera operators, Steve Ferrandino and Ron Pierre, my partner, Franco Biancamano, and myself, Kevin Bunk. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.